Gentlemen, motion for you.
Second it.
All in favor? Approval of the minutes from the December 15th, 2025 regular meeting. Motion to approve the minutes.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on tonight with the business, the 2026 officers and appointments.
So this was the main part of meeting because we haven't had any bills or anything. We got the courier group paid at our last meeting, but we do need to elect officers for the upcoming year for redevelopment commission.
Okay, so we in the past, we had a secretary at one point. We removed that.
No, No.
Yeah, Matt was the secretary when we
Yep.
first.
Yeah. for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, that's what, but I'm just asking, we don't have that anymore.
Yeah, no, I didn't add it on there. Yeah, well, it's like, it was almost like a name without a value to it.
That's just fine. I'm
Which
just
I don't
asking because
know.
I didn't see it and I.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we need to elect one. But you know, I don't know if it makes sense if somebody wants to take on the secretary role and start doing the minutes on it, that's fine. I'm fine keeping it as is, but we still elect secretary as we have to do. I'm fine with that too.
That's why I was asking. We need
Yep.
to elect a secretary.
We do, yeah, just for the sake of IC code and all that.
Okay, I'm glad I brought it up then.
Yeah.
I don't remember us having one since Matt. So that's probably something I need to.
And I think we've had a round of new that it's sort of been, you two have been the steady force on all these boards, the old guard here. So yeah, it became one of those things also. Yeah, with changes happening pretty routinely. But I don't even know the the secretary stuff. I haven't been the reporting minutes and things like that. There's not a lot to it, I guess, beyond minutes. Financials come from here. A lot of the times I'll send those out with the town financials. So you see it on like our fund reports, appropriation reports, you can see what's spent.
Yeah, I don't think there's any issue with you doing the secretary work and doing the
Yeah.
minutes, but
Yeah, we'll still elect.
if we need to
Yeah.
elect it,
Yeah.
I don't know why we wouldn't have elected it before, and then stopped and then, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
if we needed it, we would, that's probably why we did it, not because.
probably oversight on my part.
Well, I just now noticed it, so.
Yeah.
Here we are. Okay, what do you guys wanna do?
Make motion, we retain John Round as president of the redevelopment commission.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Dang, I guess. I never abstained. I always.
You're fine. Yeah, no, it's a vote. Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we retain Josh Brown as vice president of the redevelopment commission.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Staying.
I don't know.
I don't know, boys.
I've always said
Oh,
yes,
yes.
but maybe you're supposed to or not. I don't know the answer to that.
No,
We're
you
gonna
would
vote
on
for
it,
ourselves?
Yeah, well, you don't make the motion to put yourself in that position.
No, but I don't think I've ever not done that. Voted yes for
But if
myself.
you voted nay, then it would be an issue of, okay, well, does he not want to be the president?
Well, it's like anything else. We would have, I don't know, it just seemed odd. that we
There's no
just
pay involved. There's no,
Yeah.
it's just the sort of,
didn't bring that up.
it's
I never really answered that. Did you? What was it?
it's,
Oh, you voted.
it's a parliamentary, I guess you'd call it.
Just
You know what I
like,
mean?
you know,
Like,
We
process of-
we can, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now we need to elect a secretary. Anybody got any ideas on that?
I nominate, since that's what Matt used to say, I nominate Linda Banks to be the secretary. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, big shoes to fill. No.
Yeah.
All right, is that it for that, Andrew? Appointments?
Yeah, should be.
Very good, thank you. Town Park Improvements, Project Phase 2, Project Plans, DNR Trail Program. Have anything with that?
Nothing new. We're still just waiting for them to make their announcement sometime in February, early March. And then the park boards have a meeting this Thursday. So the new park board member, Megan Greer, will be there. And then we'll also discuss about the open seat that's on the park board right now. So more to come.
Sounds great. Cool.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more involvement with Megan and new members on those projects. It'd be good to get more input from them, more
Yeah.
thoughts as far as grants, things like that too. Gotta be great if the park board's
People's
able
more
to
input.
apply for a grant at
Yeah,
the same time as the town, you know?
Yeah.
Two separate entities, just like Joe went and got a grant, we got downtown and park amenities. We could do two.
Double our chances.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be great. Park beautification funds there to match,
Yeah.
you know, if there's
And
matching
just
grants,
getting-
things like that.
the members like active again and
Yeah.
involved and, you know, obviously not expecting them to do as much like we talked about as some of the past boards have done when they were running the park.
Yeah.
Now, you know, they can kind of take that board role a little bit. And hey, let's look at fundraisers and maybe plan a cleanup day and do some smaller things that are still hugely beneficial to the park.
For sure.
Very good. Additional business necessary by the council, Josh Brown. Linda Banks,
No.
Alex Van Bigler,
Nope.
Eric Lewandowski.
Not today.
Thank you. Anything else?
Second.
All in favor? Great team.
It's fun.
No, we could put you on that. You just
Please rise. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Well, we need to order. We have a problem with tonight's agenda. With the vote for meeting.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
No approval of the minutes from the January 5th, 2025 regular meeting.
Make a motion for this man.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to old business tonight, the 2026 council. Looks wrong paper. Yes, right, council representatives and board vacancies.
I left it open on there. We've got, on the, and I didn't include the whole sheet again. I think I've included the last 2 or 3 meetings. We've got one in the BZA. We had some tentative interest from one individual. Joe and I are gonna have to run that down. It's a citizen member. No affiliations needed politically, unlike the park board. So we got 2 names out there. Live in town. On the park board side, it's a Democratic seat. On the BZA side, it's just an appointment by the council, a citizen member appointment. So we'll try. I just want to keep it on there because we'd like to get those filled. I know there's been that we've talked to a couple people, but Linda, I know we had a party meeting. We have to see who's eligible and in town. We can maybe talk about who we can get to fill that. So just want to keep it on everybody's mind. If you have ideas for people for either one, really, we can try to get those filled.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Moving on, 2025 year-end billing financials reporting update.
Yeah, so we've got our capital asset planning back for Peterson. Joe and I went through that and sent over all the deductions and additions for the year. I think we snuck a lot of them in, not snuck, but we got a lot of them in late in the year last year because that's when we had the vehicle turnover. I think there were only 1 or 2 vehicle changes, the donated truck from Valparaiso on the fire side, and then 1 police vehicle. So not a whole lot of additions. And we always, as we always do, we learn some things along the way. You know, we repave a road that doesn't get added. The road's already included in there as our capital asset. Us repaving it doesn't mean we, add it all new again, that kind of thing. But a park project where we add in, $1.5 million of stuff, that's something that, every bit of that gets added in. So it can be pretty laborious sometimes. But that's done. So that's a big component of our annual financial report is the capital asset reporting. Still working with Baker Tilly on the finishing up all of the transfers and everything for 2026. We may have 1 more resolution for the the first meeting in February, and at that meeting, likely I'll have all of the report figures for your approval and submission by the end of February. So that's where we're at.
Okay, moving on, town ordinance 2026-01 zoning ordinance amendment.
Yeah, so this stems from our planning commission meetings recently where we held a public hearing on the topic of zoning 3 parcels of land that were included in our annexation in 2024. So the recommendation from the planning commission was to zone those general business. I know there's already been discussions on the property owner side for some development there. Housing, multifamily, single family, and business possibilities there. So now that that's in town, we'd like to see that developed. Of course, it increases the property values and tax revenue that the town can garner from the development. So with that now, after notifications went out to all surrounding property owners, we had a notification in the paper prior to our public hearing. Our public hearing was held on January 5th. And now we have before the town council of the town of North Judson, ordinance number 2026-01, an ordinance amending the town of North Judson zoning ordinance. Whereas the town council for the town of North Judson, Indiana previously adopted a comprehensive zoning ordinance for the incorporated areas of North Judson, Indiana, and a buffer zone surrounding the town for its proper and effective development. And whereas the planning commission for the town of North Judson, Indiana previously held a public hearing concerning a proposal to change the zoning use / classification for the following described real estate. 1.47 acres and 16.53 acres. And whereas the proposal considered by the commission in a public hearing was a change in zoning classification for the property from its currently zoned use / classification of agriculture to a new zoned use / classification of general business. And whereas the commission provided timely notice to all interested parties and held a public hearing in accordance with IC 36-7-4-604 on the proposal, and whereas the commission thereafter timely certified its recommendation on the proposal in accordance with IC 36-7-4-607 E1 and IC 5-14-1.5, that recommendation being for approval and adoption of the proposal, and thereby a change of zoning classification for the property from agricultural to general business uses.
Motion that we adopt Item 126-01.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
So next is going to be getting our zoning map updated. As you can see, we're still relying on 98 up there. And now that we've got the additional property on the east side of town, there's a couple other ones that along the way we've rezoned before my time, or changed zoning. Multifamily near the park area I know was one, as well as the downtown piece of property switched over from local business to multifamily. And I have to look at that one, but there's some updates we can get on that map, and be nice to have a new map that's got those changes as well as the addition of the annex property. That's all for that.
Okay, moving on, town ordinance 2026 -020304, the 2026 town employee salary ordinance.
Yes, these are the ordinances we adopted the last meeting and the end of the year on 2026-02 was, I think it was 2025-11. But as there was some updates in holidays, seeking addition of holidays, we've got them all three back on the docket. And of course, we have to split apart because we have those who need to abstain on the council overseeing conflicts of interest. In order to avoid conflicts of interest, we've got it broken out into three ordinances. So I'll leave that to your guys' discussion and conclusion.
So the first question, I think what brought this? You remember? Was it Veterans Day? Wasn't that the whole thing started this?
Mhm.
So Veterans Day was the whole reason we started having this conversation. And I mentioned
Or actually, no, President's Day, wasn't it? February.
that this was way back.
Okay.
Like 4 months ago, I brought this up, or 3 months. Actually, Veterans Day, whenever that was.
somewhere around there.
I brought this up just because all the banks were closed, and I think the post office closed, and I just don't know why we'd be open to, which that's what happens, I guess. It was that, and then today was the other day because everything's closed today. So being in line with the other federal offices and more banks in the area, it just made sense to have a couple more days. Now I know that President's Day is also a federal holiday, which I looked that up as well. But Good Friday, I don't believe is. So we kind of have to balance that. So not necessarily really interested in like taking a day away unless that's something, you guys would rather have another day versus another day. You know what I mean? One versus one. So what do you guys think?
One in, one out.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what you think would be best for the employees. Frank, you don't care probably, do you? I think so. Kim's not here tonight. She's sick. So I think we just want to get it right with what the right days are. I know Joe likes President's Day. And I like Veterans Day. But then we have today, which here we are at a meeting and nothing's open today. And we have the office open, which isn't the end of the world. It's just once a year. But what do you guys do?
I mean, my initial thought when we brought it up was just staying competitive. right? So like, we only had, X amount of days, we were less than like every community around, and I don't want that to cost us. Not, and I'm saying it would, but it could. And, they get 13 vacation days, you guys only get 9 or whatever.
Well, yeah, but then we have to go look at and that's a good point. We
Right,
have to
but
go
that
look
was-
at the vacation days and
Yeah,
PTO as well, though, right?
right,
We don't know what other places offer, so it's a great point.
right, but I know
gotta
ours
balance
isn't,
it.
I know ours isn't like crazy though either. Our vacation.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Once you hit your 2-year mark, you have 2 weeks. And then after, 5 years, it's 3 weeks. And then 8 years, it's 4.
And then
And
you're capped out.
then you're capped
Yeah, but that's not counting
out.
after 6 months. PTO complete.
So PTO after 6 months a week. And then once you hit your year mark, you get a week of vacation. And then after the 2-year mark,
That's
you
what
have
I
2 weeks of vacation,
3
1
weeks.
week of PTO.
So it's actually 3 weeks, 2 years full time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, something are bad. 3 weeks of 2 years. You get 3 weeks at 2 years.
I think that's competitive somewhat. Yeah, yeah. I think adding a couple holidays is welcomed for sure. Yeah.
Doesn't keep us as up with all the towns, but it puts us in the middle.
But if we go with the federal holidays, anybody else look that up and see what that might end up with? How many they have?
I think there's some that have for federal, it's
Yeah.
mid to high teens.
Kind of off charts. Yeah, it's
Yeah, quite a few.
Has anybody looked at this besides me? Anybody in the building? No.
Yeah, I mean, we looked at it the last.
I mean, I spent an hour looking at stuff.
Yeah, we looked at it the
I'm
last.
not gonna lie, I spent a night, I sent a bunch of information to Andrew, big long text. I mean, I actually like looked into it, but I'm not gonna be the only one to make the decision because I'm not the only one that's gonna take these days. I can take whatever day I want, so.
I didn't know if just 2 more vacation days would be more enticing.
Oh, it's random, like this regular people.
Random day, yep.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not on that side, that
I'm
was the
not
only
saying
thing I
that's the
thought.
wrong answer either, but I think also the point we're trying to get to is when everything else is closed, we can be in line with that.
Right.
That's what they got.
So I think election day, if you got, 3 out of 4 years election day on that off year, that's 9 days that year. So if you added MLK, President's Day and Veterans Day, then that year you've got 12 holidays. Every other year you would have 13. So I don't know if that's too many or too few, but that sort of is the middle. It's the best of all worlds there for
that
us.
puts us right there.
Yeah,
That's-
13 or
that's what I thought the
14
number
depending.
was. We were discussing it, was something like that.
13 or 14 depending on the year.
Myself.
There was other than.
But I know there was communities around us that had more,
Yes.
but the average seemed to be about that 12 holiday marker.
Yeah, there was some of 4.
Let me see what the tech was real quick. I should not be a bit from the federal website. Wow, man. That's the 2 I texted to Drew, but I don't see him here. What's my text? That's blank. New Year's, Martin Luther King, Washington's birthday, which is President's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, which is Thursday and Friday, Christmas Eve. See, I was more a proponent of Christmas Eve, the whole close at noon, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Eve close at noon, and then New Year's Day. That's the following year. Go to the same thing. That's again.
I think a lot of folks employees like having that Christmas Eve off, making plans already to.
I told Andrew,
Yeah, I would agree.
I told Andrew that my opinion is that those days they close to noon both days, just because it's like 2 half days. And people could still come in and do things in the morning. Now, I mean, I don't think we should know all day. I even said that for New Year's Eve. Like we're open till 4 on New Year's Eve, right? Or
Yeah.
which people like to go to dinner and then like do things on New Year's Eve. So open till noon is people get everything covered if they're here, but I don't know what that does for our workload closing earlier either. So that really isn't what goes on day-to-day operations in that office might dictate more of what days we should or shouldn't be open because of billing.
Yeah, I do
Again,
know.
we don't know how that works out, so.
And it seems like a lot of the federal holidays that the banks and post office have off, everybody assumes that we're off also a lot of times. So it definitely slows down for the gals in the office those days because we just don't have the flow. And when folks do come in or call, they're, oh, we thought you were closed.
So the other thing is, how does this affect meter reading? How does it affect any of that stuff as well?
They
Change
plan,
anything?
now they plan for that the month prior. So if there's ever a holiday or anything, they just plan around that.
Do it earlier, do it later.
Yeah.
And then
Okay. That's good. So what do you think, Andrew? Alex, what's your opinion? Linda, let's put a bow on this.
I'm like the one giving them those three that we don't right now. Those.
I'm not a fan of breaking up Christmas. I would rather work all day New Year's Eve and have Christmas Eve off all day,
I agree with that too.
the 2 days.
You rather want New Year's Eve off?
Yeah, well, I'd rather,
New Year's Eve all the way to 4?
yeah, and eat Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the Christmas Eve off the whole day right now?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But I thought that was what I thought it was, but
Christmas Eve is all off. You guys don't
like to go out on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve or.
John, I fall asleep by 9 o'clock these days.
There you go. That's the way I looked at it. I looked at it as like, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere,
Yeah, and it feels,
I hated
that
the
feels a little more in the
contract
weeds,
4 or 5
like we're getting in
times.
the weeds of split days in half and that kind of thing. It's like, I get it, totally. And if you want to include half a day on New Year's Eve, that's perfectly fine with
No,
us.
I don't think we need to make it any more difficult. I thought Christmas Eve was already half day. You're saying we're already closed, so.
Yeah, it's
Just forget
included.
that. I
Yeah.
didn't know that was the case.
So I guess it comes down to how many of those 3 proposed that are pretty established holidays of MLK, veterans and residents.
I think all 3 put a bow on it. Man, if Juneteenth out there in Columbus Day, I don't know. Except that next time, I don't know if it might be. So Linda, what's your thoughts? So we can.
Well, I agree because, well, where I came from, Lake County, we had 17 days off, so. But New Year's Eve, I think New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve should be off.
What day you get?
I get 3 days off a year.
Exactly. I've been there. I feel
Retail,
crazy.
retail.
Christmas is one day I used to have one. Okay, so the consensus is all 3 MLK.
Residents.
MLK President's Day and excuse me, and I know Veterans Day, that's.
Yeah.
MLK.
Good me.
Okay, let's can we entertain a motion on that unless there's somebody else has something to say? Anybody else have an opinion on that?
Well, I'll read the ordinance again. I'll read through it. You guys can vote on it, but yeah, if that should go, you.
Here's
you
what I have to
make
say.
sure.
Listen.
Nope. Let me go.
Veteran.
You'll give the golf cart for me. Or you just revote.
Eric, you're getting no days off, right?
Oh, yeah, that one. Every day's very at Waffle Farm,
In
right?
the waffle quarantine.
I need to work on it then. Okay, you want to read the?
Yep.
Thank you.
Incorporated Town of North Judson, 2026 salary ordinance number 2026-02. And the effective date of that will be 1/19. Don, if you want to make a mark on that, 1/19/2026. And will go into effect the first payroll check written after January 19th, 2026.
We need to not forget this next year when we have meetings for this day.
So if we want to vote on 2602,
2602, we got it.
I make a motion, we pass town orders 2026-02.
Second.
All in favor?
2026-03, Incorporated Town of North Judson, effective January 19, 2026. New pay will take effect the first payroll check written beginning on January 19th, 2026. And this is the utility bill. So
This is for me to abstain.
no air to stay.
I make a motion, we pass town orders 2026-03.
All in favor?
Before moving down North Judson 2026 salary ordinance number 2026-04 effective January 19, 2026, and shall take effect the first payroll check written beginning on January 19, 2026.
Make a motion, we, pass county ordinance 2026-04.
Second it.
All in favor?
Hi.
Okay, anything else on that?
Nope.
Cool.
Very good. Moving on, Mitch Chancel, USI Consultants, 2026 CCMG bid opening and contract. agreements. He's with us tonight on the big screen.
Yes. So we sent out the request for quotes for the CCMG project. We actually got contractors calling us about the Cape Seal, saying that we had too small of an area for the budget that we had. So they recommended changing it to a mill and fill project. And so we requested quotes for that, and we got one quote from Town and Country. Our budget was $25,000.
Ready, Mitch?
Yep, absolutely.
Total amount is $32,052.
And so the quest that is again Central Avenue from Ling to what is that, Jones?
Oh, right.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
from Town and Country Construction.
Yes,
Town Country Construction. This is a 80-20 though, right?
yes, correct. So yeah, your match was 5,000. NDOT's going to pay 20,000. I guess the question is, do you have the budget for the overage so that you can get the $20,000 grant?
Yeah,
7,000, right? $7,052.
Correct. Yes.
yeah, we would have that in our MDH,
So $12,000.
local road and streets to cover that overage
Let's see, that's from, you said Jones
to Lane.
to Lane.
All in front of the Methodist church there then, yeah.
All the way to
Yep.
here.
Yeah. And originally we were thinking only to go try the new Cape Seal process. So actually you're gonna be able to get a freshly paved mill and paved road. Use that little bit extra.
You know what that was gonna cost? It was only gonna be 5,000, is that, because that's what we applied for?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cost estimate at first.
Yeah, that's what it was off.
So now is that something we need to in the future have more bigger apple to bite off of when it comes to mill cave sealing?
So
That's because we were trying something new, right? That's the whole reason.
trying something new, and so we wanted to start with a small area, and the contractor's like, yeah, 19,000 square yards, yeah, I could give it to you for that unit price, but for 1,900 square yards I got to mob in 12 pieces of equipment, and that's a lot of money just for the mob and demob, let alone the materials, etc. And the people, it would have been 2 mob operations with a Cape Seal, or with your mill and fill. Town and Country's already going to be in town, and it's one. I mean, they mob in the milling machine and they mob in the paver, but they're already going to be in town for another project. So that's why we're able to get a better price and a better product. So your Cape Seal was only going to be maybe 1/4 of an inch additional pavement. This will be 1.5 inches of new pavement.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty good deal to me. For that
Yeah,
small amount of extra money there, I mean, you get a brand new road instead of,
Yeah. And it's something that was gonna be an experiment.
The whole, yeah, that's the whole point though, right? We were trying something new that was gonna be less cost.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the future, which does, that part of it
things.
is a downside of it, yeah. Cause now we don't really know. I guess we could go somewhere else and look and see,
Yeah,
like,
another
how it
place to
holds
try.
up. you
yeah,
know,
that's what Mitch and I talked about, is maybe going to a few of these other towns that have tried that.
Yeah.
And actually seeing the product after a couple of years and seeing how they liked it, you know.
I like that idea.
yeah, and we've actually bid out a bunch of projects in Montgomery County, and so yeah, we can take a look at those sometime.
This is newer to the area, Mitch? It's
What's
a
that?
newer- Is this newer to our area? Cause first I heard about this was when they were at the county garage. Is that correct? Is that when we had the same thing?
No, I don't.
They were doing basically putting on like a little show, explaining what it does.
Demo.
Yeah, exactly. Wasn't that the same thing?
The
That might be
micro
violent.
surface has been around for a while. Been using it for over 25 years, but putting the chip seal and then the micro surface over it is kind of a new thing within the last 5 years. And Town and Country says they actually are getting into that right now. So
You remember what I'm talking about.
I remember the demo thing. Yeah.
The Biolytics, was that a software that you see the road or,
Yeah.
road?
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's what.
That's what they did at county, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember getting the two confused there.
No,
but if the bids look good, I believe that Cole sent a contract on the Form 96. If you all want to accept it and sign the contract, I can get the paperwork going.
Think we're gonna move forward with this. Sounds like Mitch and Joe are on board.
definitely,
And I think from a fund side, it's not exorbitant
no.
to the point where we're planning for bigger years the next 2 years, not this year. The next 2 years after that, it's not that big of a hit.
You can get the money in, you just think it makes all the sense in the world to it, so.
And I don't know that we budgeted a whole lot in restricted or local road and street. I don't know that we had a whole lot budgeted in there this year, so there's funds there. We can always do additionally appropriate if necessary. So we need a motion to accept the bid and approve the contract, basically. We want to do both.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the bid from Town and Country and approve the contract.
So. All in favor?
And then while I'm on, sir, I can give you a quick update. We had an interview for the sidewalk project along Lucan Street with NDOT. I think that went extremely well. And then the announcement for those funds should be coming end of February, early March. So surely by March 15th, we'll know if you got funded or not.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Okay, anything else for tonight, Mitch?
I think that's all I got. The ADA got submitted. And so just to warn you, Joe, they changed the Title VI assurance language. So if you get an email from NDOT, forward that to me and we can get you some new documents to submit back to Tappan Keys real quick.
Okay, sounds good.
All righty.
All right, thank
Thanks
you,
all,
Mitch.
John. Thanks so much.
All right, moving on to guest recognition. Tonight. Thank you, Nathan. All right, first on the docket tonight is Ben Calendar with the annexation for 602 Sheridan Avenue.
Yes. So, when I bought the property, I bought it originally as one lot, and then later found out that, they were under two different tax codes. I have a legal description for 1.27 acres that is, in the, town tax jurisdiction, and I'm looking to de-annex that, piece of property back into the Wayne Township. For several reasons. One is obviously to save money on the dual taxation on the industrial taxes that I pay for that property. The zoning ordinances that we are looking at, the zoning variances, we want to make sure that they're all included under one package and not have to do multiple package both with the town and with the county for the development of that property. The lot is not a very big lot, just long triangle. I think somewhere in the ballpark of 60 foot on the long side and then 1,000 feet on the other side. And it's a really long triangle. It goes from, so we're in the corner of, what, I don't know. We're trying to develop this project, and we're trying to obviously make sure that we're working not against ourselves. I mean, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't want to sit there and I want to get a zoning variance that doesn't comply with maybe the town's approval. process. Not saying that I'm trying to go against the town or anything, but for long story short, you know, it's basically it's a front gate. That's all I can put there. It's a landlocked piece of property. For me, there's no value or no benefits of having it in the town of North Judson. We can't access the public utilities. We had to go through a process to where our law enforcement was kicked off being strictly county enforcement due to negligence prior to our current police. And you know, it's a lot of back and forth just to manage a corner piece of the property. The property that we're looking to join in is 19.6 acres. So give us the adding that on there, that would also give us our 20 acres, which also allows us to apply for additional grants for the development of this property, just because it meets a certain size required. So there's several reasons why we want to do it. Obviously, one of the main reasons is going to be to save money. You know, the loss to the county or to the town of North Judson is less than $100 a year. So just so we know that, and then you know, the rest of the taxes, you know, our airport taxes, all that's all based off the size of our lot, and that it doesn't go to the town. Anyways, it kind of goes back to the county. Our largest tax is $327, and that goes to the Kankakee River Basin, which we paid twice because of its industrial zoning. And it's not even connected to the industrial park. So I mean, it's in an awkward place in an awkward location, and I'm just trying to join it all as one property.
Sit right there. It's a lot to react to, really.
We would need
Yeah, I go through all
we
that.
would need a formal proposal is what kicks it off from you. And this may be something you want to consult to the attorney on, because there's a lot of ins and outs. When we did the annexation, you know, I just searched IC code on disannexation. So that's where the information, you know, it's all in the Indiana code. And with something like that, yeah, property descriptions, application for petition for disannexation. Our attorney's not here tonight, so I don't want to speak from legal end. But that's what, you know, we don't really act on anything until you petition it. Just like when somebody wanted to annex into the town, they provided us with an application for annexation. So it would just be the similar.
And that's where this process is getting to be really kind of a pain. So this all started out originally with the surveyor's office when they originally said that they were going to join the property upon purchasing the property. And then later the following year, when taxes hit, they said no, they couldn't join it because of the different tax codes. Then from there, we ended up going to the commissioner's office. And the commissioner's office, they told us that we had to come to the town and get the town's approval. Came to the town, got the town to approve for the annexation. And we got sent back from here. We got sent back to the county commissioner's office to request an annexation of the property. And now we're getting sent from the commissioner's office because of the attorney to come back to the town to do a de-annexation because it's less paperwork, or would automatically default the property back to the town or to the county.
Basically, we have to get the property back to the county or to, that's right.
Yeah, it involves notification, publications,
Well, that's not
notifying property
Even
owners.
their petitions or certified letters, they're all
Yeah.
probably newspaper run.
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
I mean, that's
Yep.
not cheap either.
No.
Like who pays for, like, would we have
Yeah.
to pay for that?
Well, essentially, we send, just like Justin had a BCA recently, we sent the mailings out. I sent him an invoice. They paid us for all those mail. So
Okay.
that gets reimbursed. But it's one of those things that's sort of like, that's why I say hiring someone who knows what they're doing on that, because you need to make sure all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted. I never want to be one of those offices that say, just get canned down the road, good luck to you, you know, that kind of thing. If that's something you want to petition the council, then that's the process it needs to go through. It's a formal petition with all the information, what you want to do, how you want to do it. And just like we annexed property with 100% buy-in from the property owners, with anything less, we couldn't have done it. So they did the work. They got copies of the deeds, property descriptions, application for annexation. So it's the reverse of that process.
Like I said, it's one of those deals where I bought it as one property. It was listed as one property, sold as one property. The taxes were paid as one property originally. And then all of a sudden it's now two properties.
It's been sitting for a while.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. We don't.
I
know anything
I
about
bid it on it a couple of years ago at an auction, and they slipped tying it up with Lane Street. They slipped that in the middle of the two. And
Oh,
And it
I
doesn't
see.
even, and the fencing doesn't even run between the middle of the two.
Headache.
It
basically,
just has
yeah.
a little corner that's cut off. So I mean, it's for the longest time, it's been fenced in as part of that property.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, I guess where I'm at this point is obviously I'm just doing a whole lot of back and forth, getting everybody's opinion on everything. And so what I'm here for right now is I want to know, obviously what would be an acceptable, I can have a petition, got 5 people on it, but what would you guys consider would be an acceptable level of participation in that for me to move forward on?
Yeah, so that's why I say it's a petition. I don't mean it needs signatures, it needs any of that. I mean a petition, hey, I'm
So it's a
petitioning
legal
you.
document.
It's an application. You could call it a petition. It's
Yeah.
basically a document stating, here's what I have, here's where it is, here's what I want, here's all my contact information, here's all my, basically all the information in one place with attached copies, a copy of the deed, a copy of the property description, all the survey of it, all that kind of stuff needs to be in one document that you're formally submitting to say, here's what I'm proposing that the council consider. Bam. So then that's what I know what to work with in order to do the filings, to do the publication, to do the notifications to all the surrounding property owners. There's a lot, which I know it's a headache, but there's a lot for a reason. It's because every I needs to be dotted and T needs to be crossed, because we're playing with tax dollars here.
Well, we're not, it doesn't, like property either, so that's why it's,
For essentially nothing or no reason. Exactly. So that's where it's sort of which we have to go through with it. You petition us and we have to go through with the public hearing and all that. But it begins with that petition. And we're learning these things along the way. We never had anybody petition us for disannexation. That's a new one, So, and that's why, yeah, it's not. And I think that's where if you have somebody, a local attorney or whatever, they work in these fields of property ownership and changing the hands and writing wills and all those.
how important is it to be? That's it.
Legacy documents, like they have experience with transfer of properties and ownership and things like that. So
Honestly, I don't know, you said you're worried, there was concern, not get too deep into what said it. There's concern about, 2 sets of ordinances and 2 sets of regulations.
variance.
But
Yeah,
you're butting up against the town anyway, so there's gonna be that.
we would get a notification anyway.
Yeah, just because you're in the county, we're within a jurisdiction area, so, what I mean, there's.
But what I'm saying is, okay, so say I get a building variance, okay?
Mhm.
Well, that variance only applies up to that town limit. So anything that I want to put a big fancy gate with corner pillars and buildings and so on, I have to come through the town to do that.
It doesn't go down, you come to the town, or you come to the county, either way,
Well, I mean,
it's gonna be somewhere you're going to.
it seems like it's kind of a back and forth, I'm gotta get part of the information here, part of the information there, just to do one thing, And again, I'm just trying to join it as one piece of property.
I get that,
So-
so if that's that important to you, yeah, I get it, I understand.
Well, to join it as one piece of property is different than disannexation. At disannexation, it would take it out of town. It would make our borders, from a straight line to a line like that.
Yeah.
But you would still have split pieces of property. The assessor's office and the county office is where you join those to one.
Right.
A legal description, a survey of it, that's a county entity. We don't, and it's 2 separate things.
Right. No,
Yeah,
I
okay.
get that, but
Just
what
wanna
I'm
make
saying
sure.
is, I can't do that part of it because of the tax code. Because we've already got the other corners already zoned in and considered as one piece of property, which is why we went from 18.1 acres to now we're at 19.7. So the rest of the parts that were in the county are all joined and it's now considered one flat.
I see what you're saying.
Okay, did I answer your question?
Yeah.
How would you want to hear, but how it goes, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I
Okay.
spent some time looking that up. I wanted to make sure. So, yeah. That's where it's at.
All right, very good. Okay, we're gonna move on. Justin Davis, Sharon's approval, looks like for you too.
Yeah. Just update on it.
So I tried to call.
Okay.
You're approved. There's 30 days. So the BZA, the dynamics of the planning commission, the BZA, they misunderstood from Justin. So the BZA approved, you're good as long as within a 30-day period, nobody files anything with the courts or anything to stop it. Exactly. So you'd be good. Yeah. So I didn't leave you a message. I tried to give you a call.
I didn't know if it was
So,
approved.
yeah, no, and I saw you. I'm like, oh, man, I thought we talked. I thought Joe had spoken with you. So yeah, that's my bad. But you're good to go. And if we hear anything, we'll let you know. I doubt it though. It wasn't
They had their chance.
that small piece. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's nobody fighting you for it or anything like that. So you should be good.
It's just the change, so they
Give it
so
away.
No,
Same-
exactly. Yeah.
same distances from the road or.
From
side.
what was previously on the property.
That's all that was.
Yep. That's all it is.
Okay. Right. That answer everything for you?
Yeah.
You, moving on, departmental representative reports for the treasurer.
So I got not an odd one, but I got a quote from HWC. Kara and I have been having computer problems daily. It shuts it down on us, and she's got 4 or 5 programs on there that require it to be on and getting updates throughout the night. So in front of you is an estimate for one computer replacement, and ours are both like 6 years old at this point. So I would just request 2. It would be 14. Oh, there's an 8.
1380, right?
Yeah, times 2. So it's
It's under 28.
27.
27.
2778. 2778 is my request for approval of the estimate for new computers for the utility billing office and the clerk treasurer's office.
I mean, every time they have to come in and fix it, it's 400 to 600, 700.
Oh, there's another bill, $172 for, yeah,
$172.
exactly, yeah.
I mean, I think.
And it's a daily thing. I think what they ended up, it's been weeks of this. So what they ended up seeing was that programs are requiring it to run too much, so that it shuts it down. 6 years on PCs. Yeah, but it's
When you use them all
daily
day, every day.
intensive, yeah. So I would just request approval of the estimate in the amount of 2778.
I make a motion, we approve the estimate of the amount of 2778 for 2 computers.
All in favor?
Appreciate that.
Purchase order for that?
Yeah, once we have the invoice, I'll put that all together.
You
But think we can get them going on.
you need this,
You keep it in the file. Oh, actually, yeah, sign it. Appreciate that. And then I've got just a notification that a while back there is a Trail Town status that the American Discovery Trail and other entities, basically it's an application, a Trail Town application for the American Discovery Trail Society. It puts us in a much better position of maintaining our inclusion in that trail system, and we get the moniker of the Trail Town. So I'm going to put this application together. There's no dollars involved. It's just a moniker that we can use in conjunction with the American Discovery Trail for advertising, for public engagement, that kind of thing. So I just wanted to get everybody aware of that. Then I've got 2 POs. PO 2942 to Peterson Consulting. This is the capital asset reporting that I mentioned earlier in our year-end work. And then Baker Tilly Advisory Group, this is the final billing of 2025. PO 2943 in the amount of 3,750, and sorry, PO 2942 was in the amount of $3,498.30.
Make a motion, we pay PO 2942 and 2943.
Second.
all in favor?
I think that's all I got.
Very good.
Can wait.
School board, nothing tonight. Village inspector, Tony, you have anything for us?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I was in contact with the engineering firm out of Indianapolis. The newly annexed property east of town, they're looking at putting a gas station out there. So anyway, I've been in contact with her off and on the code and stuff like that. Other than that, they're doing inspections on 2 spec homes. That's about it. Mr. Furr, again, I guess, was supposed to get electric, gas, either Wednesday, I think is when that's supposed to be there, so. He'll be able to move his items in there. After they're done. That's it.
Very good. Question for Tony.
Love to hear.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks.
Code enforcement, Frank.
I don't have any code enforcement.
Nothing tonight for code enforcement.
I just asked if, across the board, people, help us out by pulling garbage cans. Yeah, streets.
And we can get that put on the water bill.
You know, I thought about that today, and I mean, that is absolutely a good idea because it's simple.
You
I
want to
just,
text my gut, maybe?
that one might be better. I just think, you know, some.
Text my gov, Facebook.
Facebook post. You want one of those two? You do all.
Yeah, I'll work with the girls. Yeah, it's
Put it on
a
that.
simple thing. You know, sometimes we forget about it and I don't want to be making ordinances for silly stuff like that.
Yeah.
Don't want to do
Be
it.
a lot of work, Frank.
Yeah.
Create more work, would it be? Okay, nothing else for us? Thank you, sir. Unsafe, anything with that tonight? Touched on BCA and planning commission quite a bit, so anything else with that?
BZA, a use variance approved, in the Division Street and Campbell. Half that piece of property, agricultural, half that property, was granted a use variance for structure, a classroom building structure, the other intended for housing development. And then the planning commission was, our change of zoning of the annex property, and then the other BZA was the Davis one.
Very good.
Both of those were approved, and now we've wrapped up the planning commission. It'll be good to have that off our plate.
Okay. Redevelopment commission, anything with that other than our reorganization?
Nope. I'll have financials for the year at the next meeting with our AFR.
Very good. Park, Joe, anything with park?
Nothing, just that they're having a park board meeting this Thursday. It's gonna be 7 PM, here at the town hall. I know MidFest has a meeting. So if MidFest is still going on, we'll just do it in the back in the executive area.
Okay.
We're gonna be just talking about, game plans for the year. Some things that we're looking to get out of the park board this year and get them involved in, and then finding that last open park board seat. So.
Okay. Moving on to police, Frank.
This deal, so I don't forget it real quick. We got purchase order 2937 to Dustin Stamps for work he did on the 2016 Tahoe. Changed out headlight, mirror, and rear wiper mechanism for $1,038.78. The only other thing I have is just to get it on the table real quick. The county, all together with the prosecutor's office and everybody, they're wanting to put together task force, major crimes task force, has to do with sharing resources and things like that. Obviously, we don't have a detective here, or you know, some of the smaller places, Hamlet doesn't have a detective. So we needed resources from the sheriff's department, obviously, for certain things. And they're getting a little overwhelmed. So they want to put something together. We're combining some pooling of resources, and what this big picture, what that would mean for us is that we would assign somebody to that task force that sometimes would have to be part of an investigation outside of town. And the payback to that is what it's always kind of been is, you know, when I need a detective in town for something very serious, the sheriff's department comes and they help out. They work these cases, talking sex crimes, you know, big important things. And so there's a give and take, and not everybody understands how that works. And so it's just something we gotta start talking a little bit more about. So otherwise we get relegated to ISP. And we're pretty low on the poll for getting anything investigated. The good news is, you know, we don't have a lot of that kind of problem. But you know, it is there. It's important because these are crimes that there's victims involved.
sometimes children. So it's just something we have to, we're gonna start addressing moving forward. So we'll talk a little bit more about that down the road. Just wanted to throw it out there and get it out there on the table.
You have any questions for Frank? Nope, fire, moving on to fire.
I make a motion to pay PO 2937.
Second. All in favor?
Good job, Davey.
We didn't figure that out yet. Yeah, you're up.
All right, first things first. You've seen some of our trucks outside. We're kind of revamping the firehouse at the moment. We're using some of our Wayne Township money to redo the floors in there. We were starting to have some problems with concrete, so we decided to epoxy the floors. So for the next couple of weeks, there's gonna be some moving around. While we've got things out, we've been repainting, and it's looking pretty good in there. So you'll see some trucks sitting outside. They're not neglected. We're trying to do half the fire department, the other half, keep the big trucks in the water inside and such. Our tanker's still down at McQueen getting worked on. They're still working on refurbishing the plumbing on it. Other than that, we got just a couple things. As quick as possible. You have a score, Judge.
You're not getting updates.
The top page, basically, and I'll let Eric talk about this more. We bill for every structure fire, usually to the insurance. The state of Indiana has changed what they will allow as far as money wise. For us to change our rates in our billing, we have to go through a process. We approve it. You guys have to approve it, and then it has to be run through the newspaper. And I'll let Eric explain it a little further.
So late in 2025, the state fire marshal's office came out with a new suggested fee rate for fire departments. And since we're a volunteer fire department, we can charge for response calls like we currently are. And this just would update our fee schedule, which we legally have to get approved by the town board since we're funded more than 25% by a government entity. So that kind of explains at the top, and then it just goes through their suggested rate per response, per hour on scene, stuff like that. And then at the bottom, the Indiana code states that any money that we bring in from billing has to go towards basically equipment and replacement of materials we used on fire calls. So if we damage a set of gear, use foam, we can charge for the gear, the foam, our hours on scene, stuff like that. Based on the current rates we're using, this would roughly double the ability that we can charge. Also in the past, typically we only get $500 from an insurance company. The fire marshal's office made a statement that they've been in contact with insurance companies, and that's basically not going to fly anymore. They're going to have to start paying what the bill actually is. So hopefully in the future we can get, as long as we get this approved, we can get a little bit more money back from the stuff we're using on fire calls.
Somebody in your realize when you do this. So we're gonna circle back, right?
Yeah.
So that if we don't need this money, it's gonna come out of our pockets when we have a fire. It's the big circle. The insurance company's not gonna listen up.
Well,
They're gonna charge us.
right.
So just don't forget that this sounds good and it may work because if we don't need the money, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying anything wrong with this, I'm just saying, trust me, the big business isn't gonna lose.
I understand that.
That's gonna hit long term. If he has a combine fired, he's gonna see his rates go up to where,
Well, I think we're all seeing our rates already going up plenty. We're just trying to
because of
play
2020
catch
and
up
everything
now.
else. Yeah, catch up.
Yeah.
Just so we're aware of that's gonna happen if we charge.
I would think if we had the house halfway burned down, $3,000 bill to the fire department is
Probably
pretty
not gonna happen,
small.
right? We're not gonna change that. It's gonna happen. Just remember that.
Also, I believe we would need to do a public hearing on it as well.
You have to post it in a circulating newspaper within your coverage area for 30 days,
You adopt it.
preferably
30
2,
days, you can
but if
go
you only
through.
one,
Yeah,
one is
yeah.
fine. So
'Cause
we
we
have
just
to.
did ours recently.
Yeah.
Fee schedule. So yeah, absolutely. We're familiar at least. So
Yeah.
there's no, this is almost routine at this point. So, which is good because we can all stay on the same page.
How much do you think this will affect you guys?
Hopefully, with the fire marshal's office cracking down or on insurance companies or saying, hey, you need to pay your fair share, that we can get in, double or triple what we've been getting for a fire response for a structure fire call. And we're not gonna be out to like, oh, you don't have insurance, we just lost your house. We're not gonna go, oh, you owe us $5,000.
Yeah, of course.
I've been doing the billing as assistant chief for the last 3 years. And all the bills I've wrote, it doesn't matter if they're $1,200 or $3,000, we get $500 check every time. State Fire Marshal is basically saying that's not gonna fly in. These are just their updated rates. Where it's $500 per vehicle, it was what, 200, 250 or something like that.
That's the max in the policy. That's why the max they'll pay. So if you want to rest that max, you have to go get it from home. That's unworkable. So, I mean, I get it. I'm just saying, like, you get that money, you just have to send them the bill. They'll have to pay it.
All the information we got from the fire marshal office, that's gonna change or has
Yeah,
changed.
yeah, yeah. They can increase that. They don't have to change the policies or have to, they have to increase that in the policy. But that's why they're only getting 500.
Yeah,
That's all it's being covered. You know what I'm saying? That's why. And I'm not disagreeing that it shouldn't be more.
Yeah.
Because I know
otherwise
you
you
can sign how it
collection
works.
service to try to collect on
Yeah,
things.
see that every day. Where the prices go up. Yeah. That's right or wrong. I'm just saying. Yeah. Well, how many of these do you have like per year? But this will affect us a lot.
Well, as of now, we've just been doing for structure fires. I mean, they've opened up, we could bill for more if we see fit.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about.
Yeah, right now it's just structure fire, so it depends on what we have. And usually, if they don't have insurance, we don't send a bill period because you're already having a bad day, so.
Bullet from stone.
You guys see a lot of, I mean, I'm hearing more and more, but you guys find out more. You see a lot of homeowners that are not carrying homeowners insurance for these fires.
I don't know what the rate is, if it's increased or decreased. I don't have the answer for that. I mean, some do, some don't. That's all I can tell you. I've never kept track of the stats on it. Sometimes we get a check. We do a report anyways for our own records and for state records. And then if we get a check, great. If we don't, well, just it.
John, if you carry a mortgage pretty well, you're required to have insurance, right?
Your mortgage company will require you to, absolutely, yeah.
Is there a way that people are sneaking out of this like they do with their cars?
Well, I mean, no,
home's
no,
paid
because
for?
the mortgage company, you probably get away with it for a month or two, but the mortgage company will do what's called forced place. They'll force place insurance on your property, and then they'll
Just bill you.
for it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I was curious, you own the home outright, is that an opportunity
You
when
don't
this
have to.
happens?
Right.
That's
Yeah, you don't
amazing.
have to, like a car.
Yeah, you inherited a home,
Yeah.
you let it go.
It's not illegal not to have it on your home, but like it is car, not state minimums and all that, so. Yeah, but I'm not saying I'm not in favor of this, guys. I just wanted to say,
Mhm.
make sure we know the full circle of it, that it will come back. And if it's a lot, if it's $3,000, it's not that big.
I mean, we were billing roughly on average $1,750 to $2,000, and this will get us $3,000 to $4,000 range. It's what
I mean, you're
getting.
just talking about instead of, you said there's 12 structure fires here once a month. That's, you're gonna get $6,000, and this may turn out to be $20,000. No, now if you. It's significant for a small.
Yeah,
fire.
if we happen to get more than $500, and we've had large industrial fires in the past where we ruined quite a few sets of gears and went through a lot of material and $500.
Yeah, we went
Five dollars.
we went through 10 cents a gear. We got $500.
And if anything, maybe it'll help educate that, hey, this stuff is expensive. We're using a lot of, equipment, fuel, resources, and
Be a great idea. Obviously, if there's being brought to attention, not just us, it's gonna be every single fire department, little fire department all across the date, same thing. Okay,
I'll look into the public hearing if we have to do that, and whatever else you guys need from us for a timeline.
So you just want to revisit it next meeting then?
Yeah, and we can even get, so it has to be in the newspaper. The week for a public hearing notice has to be 10 days before the meeting, it has to be published, and it has to go in. Like if it publishes on Thursday, it has to go in the previous Wednesday, the notification. I got tons of notification examples for our last fee schedule too. So,
Sorry, well, you just keep me in the loop of what
Yeah.
you need.
we'll look at it this week. Yeah.
We're gonna wait on a motion.
Later this week. Yeah, at least for our end of it. Yeah, because we'll have to put it in the newspaper for the public
this has
hearing.
already been approved by you guys.
And then adopt it.
Yeah.
All done. Okay.
To,
What else you got here for us?
All right, the second page. So we have that Valpo engine outside. We're wanting to do a couple different things. We're trying to downsize our fleet a little bit. We feel like monetarily we could do better. We don't have the same turnout now that we used to because not as many people work in and around town. So what we're looking to do is get rid of a couple trucks, and this truck came up for sale. The Valpo engine that we bought for $1 minimum, we know right out the gate needs $13,000 to fix the pump, and we don't know if there's anything else wrong with it. There's some rust, it's faded. To get it looked at would be a couple $1,000s, which we weren't opposed to. But this truck came on our radar. It's Couts is selling this pumper tanker, and what we want to do is right now for car accidents, rescue scenarios, we roll 2 trucks, an engine in our rescue. We're looking to do more of a rescue engine type thing. So what we would do is we would buy this truck, and then we would sell our engine in one of the older tankers. So this first page is the truck we're looking at, and it says at the top that the price is $40,000. They called us the other day and offered it to us for 20. They've got a new truck coming. They're Porter County, yeah. Well, so the Valpo truck's still useful to us as far as it's got good rubber on it. There's equipment on there, seats, things we can use that will go to our main engine now. We can't sell it for 2 years, but it is still useful to us. And we're trying to get it out of town. We can't get it to start. We didn't want to put batteries in it just because, we're not going to use it very often. So what we want to do is buy this truck from Cows to downsize our fleet we can have 5 guys rolling this, have all of our equipment plus water. That way, when you get to a car accident, we've got both. Right now, they're separate. As far as the money goes for this truck, Joe's been working on it. We budgeted it. It would all come out of our fire budget. And then the rest we would cover out of in-house, out of our fundraising things and such. So we're not asking for money or a loan or anything like that, just permission, I guess, to move forward. And then when we sell those 2 trucks, obviously the money would come back into the general, right?
Well, talking with Andrew, the sale of the trucks, there's already a line item that could put that money into the line item with just a simple.
Well, yeah, so we would do what's transfer appropriations where, we have X budgeted for radios. Well, they know they're not updating radios this year. Leave it in there for any repair, move the numbers around basically. So it makes official transfers of appropriations to the truck line from these other lines that they know they won't be needing this year. And then on the receipt side, it's a little different. It just goes into the general fire, but it would, in a sense, fund the fire side of our budget. Dual accounting means what comes in doesn't go straight to the appropriation line. We have that to spend. We budget X, and then we know receipts are coming in Y, and it all amounts to our fund balances, the health of our appropriations, the health of our revenues, all that. So yeah, when we sell something, it doesn't go straight to that appropriation. But on this case, wanting to take from 2 or 3 appropriations and move them into a 400 level appropriation is on their end, what they're looking to do, which is not a big deal. It's a transfer resolution. And it's within the same fund and within the same appropriation, so it's even more simplified.
I think,
Just a resolution.
one of the things we were saying with the sale of the trucks, like we talked about, we have that firehouse line item right now that's not being utilized.
Yeah, it's dormant, but it's not dormant.
Right, and try to put that money back in that, so it's not something that we have to, that the fire department doesn't have to spend in that same year. That it can kind of just roll over every year until there's a need for it.
You know, I think there's in the teens, thousands
Yeah.
in there, I think it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's less.
No, I think there's less.
Yeah, there's less, sorry. So regardless, it's a firehouse fund that was from
The firehouse.
2008,
Yeah.
I think, and it's still got dollars in there that if wanted to start regenerating and reusing every year, you budget. You just have to, you know, when we start working on budgets in August, July, August, you just know you sold that truck, so you put dollars in there.
Mhm.
Just like we did with unsafe.
And that's just something we just might have to probably buy, just rename it at some point.
And then-
Firehouse fund, you
Be
know,
a ordinance.
firehouse fund and equipment or something like that.
And then those last two pages are just comp pages of what tankers with stainless tanks are going for. You got anything to add?
Yeah, the last two are comps for the old tanker that we have, that when we got the new tanker that we call tanker 10, the brand new one, we said, hey, let's keep the old one for a while and see if we use it. And we actually haven't used it in a fire since we had the new tanker. We used it for pool fills. That was it for the last year and a half, 2 years since we got the new truck. And was surprised starting to look up comps for it. It's worth quite a bit because of the stainless tank and it has a big pump on it. So from looking at what things are selling for, what they're asking for, I think we could probably get as much out of that old tanker as what we're wanting to buy the Couch truck for. And then to reiterate the difference between the Valvo truck and the Couch one, the Valvo, like he says, like going to be a minimum of 13 grand just to put the new impeller in the pump that they know is broke. And then any cracked valve, cracked lines, anything else that happened when it froze is going to be additional. Where this Couch truck, they took it out of service about 2 weeks ago. It has a current pump test on it. Got a stainless steel body. You know, it's shiny, doesn't need wax. The rims sparkle. You know,
Big tank too, 1,000 gallon.
1,000
It's a
gallon
bigger
tank.
tank,
So,
yeah.
you know, we were discussing whether it'd be better to have it for our first out for a structure fire because it's got more water, or use it as a first out for the car wreck. Because we have to send a water and a pump on a car wreck in case there's a fire. So that's why we're currently running 2 trucks. We don't have a truck big enough to set that up on one truck. And when we went to the light rescue we had 10 guys show up on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. Now we get 4 or 5. And it's, well, you roll some guys in the first truck and then you try to get 3 in the second one. And, you know, we think we could serve a lot better everything on one truck. And they really wanted to get out of their firehouse. That's why they dropped the price quick, because they have another new fire truck coming this week. So they just they replaced this one with the new engine that took 3 years to get delivered, and it cost them $750,000.
Once you guys have the numbers from the budget, which the new budget isn't even in, I've still got year-end stuff in our budget, but we have the Form 1s that shows everything that was budgeted in each appropriation. Once you know what you want to transfer, we could put a transfer resolution together pretty quick. Like we could have for the next meeting if you wanted.
Yeah, they got.
If you guys work together.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
kind of got
They
the
got
line
the
items
money.
already.
Yeah.
I mean, this,
Yeah.
this,
Off of
I don't know that we'll
last
find a better deal than this.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'll serve us well. We're obviously not gonna go out and buy a $750,000 truck at this time, so.
And we do have a good relationship with Cal, that helps too. Yeah.
Okay, so we're not making any motions now. We're gonna wait till we,
No, I mean, if there's a motion to proceed with the plan.
yeah, we can make that, but I didn't.
Yeah, no, officially dollars wise,
We don't have,
that's it.
we don't have. any-
Yeah, no, there's nothing in front of you. The resolution next time, once we get the figures, is at least
Okay,
putting
we have
it
a
in
motion
there
to
to where we can
proceed with
spend
this.
something.
Joe, you're on board with this?
Yeah.
This gives your blessing?
Yeah.
Okay,
Make a motion to proceed with the purchase of the Couch fire truck.
I'll tell you.
all in favor?
Thank you, guys.
Steve, which one? All right, moving on. Utilities, Kim's still tonight.
Yeah, Kim's not feeling well, just a few things. Kim got a hire, for her staff. And then she's working with Work One. We're gonna have a new person coming on that Work One's gonna pay for. So that'll be no cost to us, to see how it works out. So we'll actually be, having a little bit of extra staffing here for the next 6 to 8 weeks. And then she had 3 purchase orders. Purchase order 2938 for Republic for sludge dumpster removal for $5,220.65. Purchase order 2939 to Blue River Technologies for geotextile sludge bag and polymer for $7,519. And purchase order 2940 to Dustin Stamps. He rebuilt the whole front end of the 1-ton dump and had it aligned for $1,758.
Make motion, pay PO 2938, 2939, and 2940.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Nothing else there, Joe?
Nothing.
All right, you're up next, town manager.
All right, we've covered a lot of it. We talked with Nick for USI. We're still waiting on our town attorney to get with us about a municipal to municipal transfer of some of the school right of way that we need for our Hughley subdivision sidewalk project. So as soon as Justin gets back in country, we'll make sure we get that taken care of. We've been working, as Tony said, with the Workman property over there about some building opportunities that are happening over there. So that's exciting. And then I've got just one purchase order 2941 to Amazon for $2,137.32 to replace the street light globes. We had a delivery truck over at the bakery hit one of our poles, dropped the globe, shattered it, and instead of just trying to replace one, we've got some other ones that are damaged and discolored, so we're just gonna replace them all.
Make motion, pay PO 2941. All in favor? Aye.
All I have.
Okay, and Joe, have any questions for Joe before we move on? No. Okay, now legal updates tonight, right, Joe, Andrew, anything from Justin? No. Okay, additional business team necessary by the council, Alex,
Nothing.
Eric,
No.
Linda. No. John. Don't have anything either. Payment plans. January 6th through January 19th, the amount of $158,850.35. Make a motion, pay those.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Hold on. Whoa. Go ahead with that one.